The last couple of weeks have raised a number of legitimate questions about Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian collusion. A number of members of the investigative team over there have been exposed as intense Democratic partisans. Now, President Trump's lawyers have accused Mueller's team of improperly seizing transition emails without bothering to supply a warrant or even a subpoena. They just took them. Mark Steyn is an author and columnist, and he joins us now to put this in perspective. Mark, can you just take things?
Well, apparently you can if you're a so-called independent counsel. I mean, I should come the unassimilated foreigner with you here, Tucker, and say that I don't think there should be a 2.5-month transition between governments, which is unique to the United States in the developed world. And it makes no difference anyway, because the Democrats in the Senate slow walk everything. So here we are a year later, and all the deputy assistant, deputy undersecretaries at every department are still all the Obama guys anyway. So if it's meant to give you time to staff the departments, it's a waste of time. But in this case, it's particularly relevant because the transition was used by the outgoing administration and the permanent bureaucracy to set up their destabilization of the incoming administration, the Trump administration. And I see no reason at all why a guy who is supposed to be investigating Russian interference in an election that took place on November the 8th should be able to seize effectively an incoming government's entire confidential communications between each other in the period after the election took place. That seems to me entirely unwarranted by Mueller.
You're aware that by saying that, you're putting this nation at risk. I was watching MSNBC this morning and learned that those who raise questions about the Mueller investigation are, this is almost a quote, inciting violence in the streets, delegitimizing the U.S. government, maybe precipitating a coup. I mean, do you feel uncomfortable with your criticism because it's wrong to criticize the government?
No, because it's Mueller and the whole independent counsel that is designed to delegitimize the institutions of government, starting with the president. By the way, while we're at it, Mueller is the last guy on the planet who should be an independent counsel, because he's not independent of anything. He used to work for Paul Manafort's former law firm. He's connected with everybody. Ever since he was appointed, for the last 6 months, I've sat and watched Fox, and I watched MSNBC and watched CNN and all the others, and an endless parade of Beltway insiders saying, well, I've known Bob Mueller since 1972 and you couldn't find a straighter arrow. He's an Eagle Scout. And that's exactly why, whether or not that's true, that's exactly why he shouldn't be independent counsel. He's not independent. He's the insider's insider. But just to go back to that point about destabilizing everything here, Tucker, if you take MSNBC at their word that this guy is a straight shooter doing a credible job, for it to carry conviction, if you're going to investigate the guy who won the election according to the rules of the election, you better be seen to do it in as clean a way as possible. You don't do it by appointing psychologically weird people who think they're somehow top super secret agents who've been put on Earth to save the Republic, like this Strzok guy. You don't do it by involving people whose wives work for Hillary Clinton's Oppo research team. You don't do it by hiring people who went to Hillary Clinton's non-victory party on November the 8th. Not everything that Mueller has done discredits his own reputation and discredits his own investigation.
So by my count, you've got 9 out of 15 investigators so far having donated to Democratic politicians, to the Clintons. Now, I've got pretty strong political views. Very strong. I talk about them every night on TV. I've never donated a single dollar to any politician because my views aren't strong enough to warrant a donation. So if you've got people who are so spun up about politics, they're giving money to specific candidates, investigating a guy on the other side, why shouldn't that at least raise the question, what the hell is going on?
Well, exactly, because look at it this way. Mueller can't win now. In fact, the country can't. The tragedy is that the country can't win. Let's say that Mueller finds Trump guilty of something. Half the country, the half of the country that voted for Trump, is going to say this is ridiculous. A bunch of people who were Hillary donors, who went to Hillary's parties, who worked for Hillary's Oppo research team, who were having Hillary fans who were having illicit affairs because they loved Hillary so much, it turned them on so much. As you pointed out, those tweets and texts between Strzok and his lover. You know, it sounds like John le Carre rewritten by Teen Beat. It's completely preposterous. But the half of the country that voted for Trump won't accept a verdict against him. Likewise, the other half will not accept if Mueller exonerates Trump, they'll say, oh, well, that's just because the Republicans demonized him and trashed him. Mueller's killed the whole point of this investigation.
You're exactly right. The whole point of independent counsel investigations is to reassure us it's on the level. Mark, thank you for that, as always.
Thanks a lot, Tucker. Sorry I got worked up about it.
I love it. Harvard University is this country's most impressive university. There's literally no chance you could have gotten in. But is it practicing racism? And does the school have racial quotas to keep Asians out? We'll talk to someone who has the numbers on that next.